All right, guys, so welcome back. This is the recorded part of the program that we'll be utilizing. So let's start first off by looking at the e-classroom. As I said, it's going to be the same in both groupings, just be separate classrooms. So the first block that we have here, let me go to the student role so that you'll see it from your perspective. Hopefully it's big enough for you guys to see. We have general resources. So we have two textbooks that you need to download. There's the course outline that you can download as well. Don't worry about these areas here yet in terms of the personality test and interpretation. The course concept map you can download. You can look at it. It's a visual of the course setup for those people who are more visual in their learning preferences. This here, as I said, personality test link and learning style inventory test. Those become useful when you're dealing with your self-analysis, which we'll talk about. This document here, the course schedule with assignment details, is something we're going to be looking at now. But just to finish looking at this side of the thing, we have the link here for the class, the 11 a.m. grouping. This will stay constant for the time frame that we're dealing with, and this is the WhatsApp chat group for link for the for this group, this class here. I think I should put this in the chat group for the people in the second class to register into this chat group here so that we could all be together. If you have not yet joined yourself to the chat group, please do so, because it'll be the faster way to communicate than via email and stuff, because that way we could see each other or communicate fairly quickly. Session recordings, I will be putting session recordings here, but these are the PowerPoints that we're going to be dealing with in relation to the content that we're dealing with, chapter 1, 2, and 3. And then this is where we have our assignment submissions that will come up, and we'll see this in more detail here. We have a debate to take part in, 15% value, and then as your presentations are built, you'll start to see this filling out a little bit. So the class doesn't look like there's a lot of stuff on it, and there's a reason for that. It has to do with the nature of how this class is set up. All right, so let's look now at the course schedule. So what we'll do is we'll add the second group as well to this. I think it's 3-8. Yes, 2-5-3-8. So, but we know we're both going to be working from this thing here. So at the top here we see my email addresses for communication purposes, and of course my mobile number, which you can WhatsApp message me or call me if you have. You all should have this from advisement timeframes as well, so it's nothing new for you guys in terms of being able to communicate with me directly when necessary and if required. We have a schedule of activities, and we'll see a number of presentations listed off here. So we need to get some details as to why and what's happening in relation to this. Okay, so that brings us to the deadlines for everything else. So let's look at the assignments, and then we'll come back to the schedule so that we can understand this. At any point in time, guys, if you want, you could stop and ask questions, or stop me and ask questions. So the first assessment that is due for this course is called chapter presentations, and these are group-based activities, and we're going to be setting up small groups that you all will be taking charge or taking the responsibility of teaching the class different chapters from the textbooks that we're looking at. So if you remember, at the top of the class in the e-classroom, we had 2 textbooks. You're going to have to download these textbooks, because those are the textbooks we're going to be utilizing for the purpose of the class that we're dealing with. Just show you those textbooks so that you can get an idea of what they look like. Alright, the PDF documents. So just to give you the covers so that you can see what they look like. This is the main one, Exploring Leadership by Cummins, Lucas, and McMahon. We're going to be doing a lot of chapters out of this. And the second textbook is the DAFT, which is the Leadership Experience. We're going to be doing about 5 or 6 chapters out of this as well. So we have a combination of these two textbooks that we're going to be utilizing. There are newer editions to both of these textbooks, but this is the edition that we're going to be utilizing. These are the editions that we're going to be utilizing for the duration of this course. So again, your resources are available for you on the system. So when you are presenting these chapters, I don't want you to think about them as presentations, what you should think about them is as you are taking the responsibility of sharing and teaching your classmates or about the content that you're covering in the class, in those chapters. So 60% of the marks is going to be given for coverage of the content, the type of examples that you use, how clear they are, making appropriate recommendations, and using an appropriate introduction and conclusion for all right, for the presentations, because some people don't do that, so we expect that that's going to happen. I'm going to be looking at your style of deliveries. What I'm looking for is the effectiveness of your style of delivery, the quality and degree of class interaction, the use of your presentation aids, be them primarily it's going to be probably a PowerPoint presentation, but you can also have little video clips and stuff that you can add once they're manageable, and they have to be dealt with in terms of the amount of time that you have available for your presentation. So we're looking at your time management. So we're looking at 2 presentations per session. So we're looking at about roughly an hour and a half per presentation. And of course, as with any assignment, there's going to be the need for citation, APA format, of course. All right. And that is something that will have to be, that you're going to have to pay attention to when you do it well. So the premise of this course is that it is a practical exercise in leadership and ethical behavior, and therefore we're going to give you lots of opportunities to exhibit the kind of behaviors that we would like to see taking place as a result of the training from this course. All right. This assessment counts for 30% of your final grade. Now, what's going to happen is on the days that you do your presentations, what I will do is I'll give you immediate feedback after you finish your presentation. So we'll have 2 presentations, then I'll talk to each group set privately on the same platform and give you your scores and how you did, and maybe some advice as to what can be improved and what was good, what was not so good, that type of situation, so that you can get a idea of how things can be improved for later on. Unfortunately, with a class this size, you're only going to have 1 opportunity here per chapter, but I think you all will do well across the board. Generally, I'm looking for people to be scoring 90 plus in your group presentations, so that you don't fall short on getting as much of this 30% as possible. All right. The second assignment is actually the last thing we're going to do, and that is we're going to engage in a debate activity. And of course, with the size of this class, we're going to choose 2 of these topics out of the 3 to be debated in the classroom setting. This is previous information that was there. So just take this off. That will come up later. We'll get more details with this as we finish off the other stuff that needs to be taking place. Now, as soon as we finish all of the chapter presentations, you'll get your midterm assessment, which is going to take the form of three short response questions, which would ask you to reflect on the content from specific areas of the course in relation to your own personal experiences with them. So it's a midterm reflections exercise that you're going to be going through. That counts for 20% of your final grade. And that will be done as soon as we finish the presentation schedules. This will become active. You'll have about a week to do the exercise and then submit your assignment on the e-classroom following the appropriate requirements for handing in any sort of uh, research, well, not research based, but any sort of home-based assessment. All right. Then we move to the self-analysis. This is 20% assessment 4. And this self-analysis is something that you're going to be writing up about yourself. So it's an autobiography asking you to evaluate yourself and your influences and the environments in which you grew up and developed, starting with your family and your family history, your traditions and customs. And the idea of this assignment is for you to do some deep thinking about who you are and how you've arrived at being the person you are today. So this is a lot of reflections. It's also very private and personal. And therefore, these assignments will all be held to be quite confidential. So you don't have to worry about other people finding out about it or it being shared with other folks who have no bearing on the class. So these questions are designed to help lead you through an evaluation of yourself and an exploration of you as an individual in the context of leadership and leadership potential that you might have. So you'd see questions about factors that influenced your perception of leadership, the first time you realized that you might have had leadership potential, the what experiences or the individuals who have influenced your values and philosophies, and individuals and critical incidents that might have had an impact on transforming your lives. So they may sound similar, but they are actually distinct activities that you need to be looking at. In terms of how it's marked, the marking scheme is identified here. So 40% of the marks would be for the actual write-up of all the responses you do to the question, including an introduction and a conclusion. I'm going to look at your use of language, which is grammar, punctuation, spelling, those kind of things that you shouldn't be taking a deduction on. And then how you organize the document in terms of the font that you use. You're required to use double line spacing. You must have a title page, you must have page numbers, and you must utilize a contents page, especially if you pass 4 pages in length. And the expectation is, in order to do a fairly good self-analysis of you as an individual, it will take some time. There is no word limit to this document. In fact, there are no word limits to any of the documents that you have to create, because it is really a matter of how much you think you should write about for you to understand yourself better, if you understand. It's really a conversation you're having with yourself, and I'm just here to evaluate the nature of that, and degree of self-evaluation and self-reflection that takes place in this course. That then leads us to the last assignment, which is 15% of your final grade. It's called Reflections on Leadership Action Plan. And this can only really, so this question here, in terms of self-analysis, you can actually start at now. You can begin the process of writing this up now. You have to spend some time doing this, because it really does require you sitting and thinking and really reflecting on yourself and your family, and probably sometimes writing about things that are potentially difficult, and may or may not be something that you would enjoy doing, but it may be fairly challenging for you to be able to, honestly evaluate yourself accordingly. And this should lead into understanding a little more of why you are the way you are, kind of situation that you're looking at. And that is where the personality test and that kind of stuff will come in to assist you with this. Again, if you hang on a bit and wait for some of the content to go off before you start, this will be useful because there are a couple of chapters that deal with understanding self and understanding others that can play an effective role in helping you to write up this kind of thing. But you can essentially begin mapping out your response to this question. As opposed to that, this question here really requires us to actually finish the course, and then you can really reflect on some of the questions here. With the exception of the first one, this first question you can answer right now. It is a question that asks you to write up what your expectations are for this course without knowing what it is. So at this point in time, you could write this up with how you feel about things at this point in time, about the nature of the course itself, your expectations for me as a lecturer, and the expectations of yourself as a student in the class. So those are the things that you can write about in terms of. So I would suggest that you set up a file and you answer this first question and put it away. All right, so you label or create a file that's called your reflections on leadership action plan. Answer this question and copy paste this into your thing, so you'll have all the questions there, so you don't have to go all over the place looking for the document. So you realize that question 2 though is can only be answered at the end when we finish everything. As you end the course, you can write up your expectations, whether or not they've been met, exceeded, how you feel about it after the fact. Um, Question 3, describe what you've learned about yourself during the semester in relation to your capacity to demonstrate leadership. So this is again about reflections after the fact, after we've gone through the semester. So questions 2, 3, they have to be written up at the end. Reflect on what you see as your leadership strengths and weaknesses. Again, you'd have to go through the content to understand how to go about writing up this and evaluating yourself in terms of a leader and a potential, because all of you are leaders already. It's just that we want you to evaluate and reflect upon you as an individual in a leadership position. Describe the philosophy you have developed throughout the class. So as we go through the content and we look at the concepts that this model that we're going to look at shows us, you hopefully will develop some sort of leadership philosophy coming out of the examination of the classroom activities. And then you'll be able to map how it may have changed from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester. So we're looking at trying to map that sort of behavioral changes or attitudinal changes that would take place within you as an individual and as a potential leader in moving forward. Identify your leadership style. So this is some sort of more self-assessment, self-analysis, and describe 2 action steps you can take to continue to develop your leadership style in the future. All right, and again, there is a basic marking scheme that is assigned here. Again, the content is 40%, use of language is 10%, document organization is 10%, and that it's not out of 60, but it's given a percentage value out of 100. And that's it. That's all the assessments. You notice that no exams. Everything is reflection in nature. This one is a group-based activity that's going to be the entire class participating all at once in a debate activity. And these are small group activities here, moving that you'll get some quick feedback based upon how you perform as you do your presentations. Now, in terms of the schedules, I've identified where all of these things will fall in. So by the 27th of October, we should be finished with all of our presentations. The midterms will start from the 27th and go to the 10th. So by the 10th, you'll be finished with the midterm reflections, and you'd submit that document, get it out of the way. The debate exercise is the very last thing that we will be doing in terms of a class activity. In fact, the 1st of December is our very last class. For those of you who've been paying attention, you recognize that the semester is shorter. We're now a 12-week semester with the 13th week being for examinations for those classes you might have examinations for. So there's that adjustment, so we had to make some changes here. Now, the leadership plan and the action plan, I'm giving you all until Christmas Eve to finish the write-ups and submission. So that's after the class is done, to give you time to be able to reflect. My thinking is we get it out of the way by Christmas Eve so you could enjoy your holidays. That makes sense, guys? In terms of the dates, the deadline dates for assignments and such? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know right now it looks like a lot because we're looking at everything all at once, and that is part of the problem that it faces. But remember, everything is kind of sequenced, moving along, moving forward. And remember when I said you could start writing up your self-analysis even from tonight, and the first question from your action plan, you can respond at this point in time as well. Okay. Now the grade input deadline, this is my deadline here for putting your grades on the system, is the 7th of January. That's the night I have to post. I would like to post before the 7th of January, but it means between Christmas Eve and New Year's Day, I have a lot of writing and sort of marking and reading to do. So that is my axe to bear, but it's something that we're going to have to be looking at in terms of your assignments. All
Mr.
right.
Wisu,
Yes.
I see that you have the midterm, the 27th of August to the
To
10th
the 10th of
that is
November.
that is the deadline period.
That's the time frame in which it's going to be active. So by the 10th of November, you should be finished with it.
Okay, so this what I've seen here is more or less the assignment and the deadline date.
Yes.
All right, cool, thanks.
These are the evaluations. As a, I guess we could also use assignments as well. All right. All right. So on top here we have the chapter presentation. So you'd see the first three chapters, which is unit 1 of the first textbook. Let me show you that here. I go to the table of contents. In this textbook here, I'll be taking responsibility for presenting this part 1 of the leadership textbook. So I'm going to be dealing with the preface and the introduction, chapter 2, the changing nature of leadership and the relational leadership model. So I'm going to be dealing with this part of it in 3 sessions. Now these are, I would encourage you to read these things before. On the e-classroom, you would see that I have some PowerPoint presentations set up here for you guys. You can go through these as well before the presentation so we can actually discuss the content rather than me just coming and teaching the content kind of thing. But again, these are downloadable from your perspectives as well. So going back to the schedule, so up to the 22nd of September, hopefully we have no interruptions with this schedule. I will be dealing with chapters 1 to 3, and then you guys begin presenting from the 29th of September, which is the following week. So presentation 1 would be chapter 4 from the Exploring Leadership text and chapter 5. So 2 groups will go off on that date. Then we have chapter 6 and 7 as the 3rd and 4th presentation on the 6th of October. Then the 5th of October, we have the first chapter from the DAFT, which is chapter 6, Courage and Moral Leadership, which is an overlap with chapter 6 from the other chapter, or the other textbook, I should say, Integrity and Moral Purpose. And that will take place on the 13th. Alongside that, we'll be doing chapter 6, Being in Community. So on the 13th, we have these 2 chapters to do. The 20th of October, we have Complex Organizations, and then the second chapter from DAFT, Vision and Strategic Direction. All right, and you guys have done OB, so you all understand the importance of vision and mission and that type of stuff. You've met that before. Then chapters 9 and 10 are both from the DAF. So that'll be 27th October. That's the last presentation date. And you're going to be dealing with power and influence and leading change. Both of those come from the DAF textbook. So you can see the combination of chapters coming from both textbooks. So we have chapters 1 to 9 going off from the main textbook, the Exploring Leadership, and we have 6, 13, 12, and 15 from the DAFT. So far, so good. All right, so now we come to the situation where we need to group. Now, generally, the groups are going to be 3 per chapter or 3 per presentation, but we have 35 members in this class. So to be able to absorb all 35 into one classroom setting, I would say we have, for the first 5 chapters, we have groups of 3, and the second 5 from 6 to 10, we have groups of 4. How are you all feeling about that? Guys?
No issue at all with that for me.
Say that again, sorry?
I was saying no issue
No issue
with
so
that
far.
arrangement.
All
Yeah,
right. So in
well,
terms
for
of
me
the
at least.
grouping, sure, right. So the next part we have to do is to actually do the groupings. And I'm leaving that to you guys because I know you all already have small groups and study groups set up. The only problem is now you kind of have to edit your group a little bit into the sizes of 3 and 4, which I know can be a little bit of a challenge, but you don't have to, what's the word I want to use? You don't have to, so like if you all have a group of 10, you all could, do a little split, and, make up 3 groups of 3, or 2 groups of 3 and 1 group of 4, that kind of stuff, now, so that it's not painful for everybody from the groups, kind of stuff like that. But again, you guys know yourselves. So we have 10 people from the the later class. I don't know if they were grouped together. I know you all were grouping to, or according to the services you all came from. So whatever format you all utilized for making your groups, um, I am cool to work with what exists in the past. All right, with you all for comfort, for your own comfort and ability to work with each other. What I would like you to do though is to have a look at these chapters and see which ones kind of speak to you and your group. I think at this point in time, you all could communicate with each other and try and see, which chapter appeals to you all. So you'd see chapter 4, which is the first one, and I spoke about this before. This is about understanding self. Chapter 5 is understanding others. Chapter 6 is integrity and moral purpose. Chapter 7 is teams and groups. Then we come to the first DAF, which is courage and moral leadership. Then we're back on to the exploring leadership, being in communities, complex organizations. That's looking at leadership in that context. Then we have presentation 8, vision and strategic direction. Then we have presentation 9 about power and influence. And chapter 10 closes off all our presentations in terms of leading change. Um, and we all know that the only constant in life is, in fact, change. All right. If you did OB, you'd have come across the concept of change and change management. All right. So maybe you all want to chat with each other a little bit and give me some ideas of. Remember, we're looking at from presentation 1 to presentation 5, groups of 3, presentation 6 to 10, groups of 4. So let me know what's happening because I want to set up the schedule, PDF it, and put it back into the the e-classroom, so both groups, so that you all can have an idea of download this and have this available for your information. Okay, again, it's not cast in stone, but We want to try and firm up our understanding of things and how we're going to arrange things. Don't all rush now. Feel free to.
Excuse me,
Yes.
was this recorded? Sorry.
Yes, the recording is on at the moment.
Mr. Bisu,
Yes.
based on the information, the assessments you just showed us,
Uh-huh.
is it possible that you could just highlight for me where exactly it is on e-classroom so I could go in and look at it on my own time? You know what I'm talking about? Yes.
What you mean here?
No. The assessment that they were showing us, with all the particulars, where exactly it is on e-classroom.
It's going to be placed. You're talking about the course schedule
This
document?
course schedule, that's correct, the course schedule.
Yeah, look at here.
All right, cool, thanks. That's it.
All right, but this we have to update this with the one that we're doing now.
All right, cool.
And I'll instead of it being a Word document, I'll PDF the document so you don't inadvertently make changes to it. That makes sense? All right, so we still have some things to add here in terms of who's going to make up which groups and which chapters. So speak to me. Who's doing what? We kind of have to do this today because remember, next week I start chapter 1 and the preface, and we start from there. Come on,
No,
guys.
excuse.
Yeah, go ahead.
On something here. What you're proposing us is the groups do presentation for either chapters.
Say that again. You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not clear on what is the proposition for us. Are the groups responsible for doing the presentation based on the
Yes.
chapters that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Each group will take charge of a chapter and present it. Well, not technically present it, teach it to the class. Now they can help
Okay.
them. The rest of the class can help themselves by reading the chapters. But we know how that is. I mean, you all have challenges because you have so many other classes to deal with as well simultaneously. But at the same time, are you all doing ethics this semester as well? I think I
Yes,
remember.
sir.
Yeah, so there's going to be an overlap between the two courses, huh? All right. So
I just sent some information from my group in the chat.
What information you want?
Oh no, I just sent it. The group, chapter 4, understanding self.
Oh, you put it in the chat for this for the class?
Yeah, and you said you want information for the groups?
Yeah, you can tell me it and I'll start to put
Okay, so
in
chapter 4, understanding self.
Right. Who are the members?
Rona Thomas.
All right, hold on. I have to copy and paste.
Okay, it's the last 3 days, Lyndon Sterling and Bruni Wardron.
Rona Thomas. Oh, come on. Not that nonsense. Who again, you said? Sterling.
Sterling and Bruni and Wardron.
Okay. Waldron. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if this works. Nope. Nope. Keep text only. All right. So Sterling. All right, I have Rhonda twice. All right. So as one group. All right, people understand.
Excuse sir, I saw Vanessa asked a question in the chat there. I think it's a valid question. If you could answer, please. Does the groups have to be maintained within the respective CRNs for ease of
No, no, no. We
tracking
can mix them
purposes?
up. We can mix them
Okay,
up. We don't
okay.
have to. Um, alright. No, no. We can. The purpose of bringing two classes together is to allow for, um, you know, the groupings that you all might have had in the past. So yeah, you can have people from one class and the two classes mixing together. All right.
Sir,
Yes.
Marcin, Scotland, Mercer, Conan, Stacey Rose.
All right. So
We'll be doing
which chapter?
presentation 4, chapter 7.
Chapters, teams and groups. All right. So let me get this. Scotland.
Conan and Rose.
Hold on. Scotland. Coordinator. I have to do this kind of carefully. Oops. And Rose, Stacy Rose. Copy. All right. Okay, so that's all right. So remember from presentation 1 to 5, it's um, 3 people per group and 4 people in the rest per group, so that we use up all 35 members of the class. Right, continuing along. Anybody else? Any other groupings?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Karen Guerra,
Kiara.
Karen Jairam.
All right, hold on. Let me find Karen Guerra first. All right, that's you. What chapter?
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is gone already.
Who?
There's a
So
group
what's
present.
the other one?
Chapter 5. Understanding
Okay,
others.
well, chapter 5.
Chapter
Right.
5. All right, so it's Gera. Who's the other people?
Karen Jairam
Jairam. Copy.
and Indus Ali.
Enders Ali. Copy. All right. Okay, cool.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Next, anybody? You have these chapters down here with groups of 4 from 6 to 10, especially if there are any big groups. Guys?
Hello?
Yes?
Yes, Kadaru, Bihari, Raghunath.
All right, hold on. You have to do that.
Sorry,
So,
Kadaru.
Rodney,
Yeah, Rani Kadaru.
what chapter?
Um, which is available for 3. Any others available for 3 still?
Yeah, you have chapter 6, integrity and
Yeah,
moral purpose, and courage and moral leadership, presentation
chapter
5.
6. Chapter 6.
There are 2 chapter 6s, huh? The first one, presentation 3 or presentation 5. Let's call it like that. Talk to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Presentation 3. 3?
3?
Raghunath 3?
So
Yep.
presentation 3, sir.
All right, okay, so Rodney,
Well,
who's the other
somebody
person?
take it there.
No, I'm putting you all there. Presentation 3. Kan,
Kadaru,
Kandaru, who's the next two?
Bihari, Bihari.
be Harry Novin.
Raghunath.
And Ramnath.
Raghunath. Kimraj.
Himranj. All right. All right. That's
So,
yes.
yeah, Shivan
Yes, sir.
Sanka, Vanessa Duncan, and Randy Sukdev.
All right. So the only three slot left is presentation 5.
So,
Yes, sir.
Shelley,
Who was that set?
you read?
Was that so?
I didn't get all the names.
Shivan Sanka, Vanessa Duncan, and Randy Sukdev, sir.
All right. So Sanka, copy.
Sukdev and Vanessa Duncan.
That's Randy and Vanessa Duncan.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the rest of the groups will need to be 4 piece. Yes, sir.
Shelley and Reed,
Read.
Yvette Robinson,
Hold on. Shallyan Read. What chapter?
Chapter 9.
Chapter 9. All right. Being communities. All right. So this has to be 4 people, huh?
Right.
So Read. Who again?
Yvette Robinson,
Yvette.
Robinson,
Uh-huh.
Brandon Moore,
Rhonda.
So you
Brandon,
you're typing in chapter presentation 6. I think she said 9.
She said chapter 9.
Chapter
Is it-
9. Okay.
Is it chapter 9 or presentation 9?
Chapter 9.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Okay, cool. Thanks. So is Reed Robinson who again?
Moore,
Brandon.
yes.
Come on.
And
who?
Durga. Dinesh
All right,
Durga.
he's from the other class. Right. Dinesh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right. So that's
Yes, sir. Presentation 7.
complex
Joel
organization.
Gonzalez,
Joel Gonzalez. All right.
Colonel Hamilton,
All right. Hold on. Let me get to that group. Hamilton, Colonel. Uh-huh.
Gerard Duncan,
Gerard. All right. Cool. Uh-huh. Need one more.
and Anton Noel, sir.
Noel. Anton. Okay, cool. Copy. All right. So okay, we still have 8, 9, and 10 left, which means we
Sir,
are yes,
Ramtran, here.
Ryan.
Ryan Ramtran, yeah.
Uh-huh.
For presentation 9.
9. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Power and influence, right? So
Yes,
it's
sir. Yeah.
Ramcharan, who again?
Devanand Samuj,
Uh-huh.
Joel Hansen,
Right.
and Dwayne Warner.
Dwayne Warner. Alrighty then. Okay, good. All right, so we should have 8 students out there who have not yet.
So,
Yes.
yes, sir. For presentation 8, chapter 13,
Right.
we have Colin Archie,
Colin Archie.
Larissa Cordner,
Pull up selector. Hold on. Narissa Cordner. All right.
I'm already in the group,
Excuse,
sir.
Narissa in our group already.
Yeah, Narissa in that group.
We
Just a draft a player.
Well, Johanse Atherton.
Atherton.
Yeah. Duncan. That is Johan Duncan.
Johan Duncan. You. Johan, this guy here.
Yeah.
We need one more.
So we gotta look for that player just now. In the meantime, we can hold fast with that tree until we get.
Yeah, but we're looking to draft somebody.
Yeah, we need a sub. We need some subs, sir. We need some subs.
You need one.
So I can come in our group, sir?
Who's that?
Yeah, well,
Stephen Alfonso.
Yeah, Alfonso, come in.
Yeah, come now, come in the group. Come through.
Because he had to do something, or else he not getting a mark.
Yeah, I'll come in half time.
Half
With
time.
the sub now.
All right, so there should be 4 people who have not assigned themselves or have not been yet assigned to a group. I think.
So group 6, right? We would need to replace Shelly and Reed because I understand she's in another group. So we have to replace Shelly and Reed.
No, you don't. Shelly-Ann is not in that. She's not identified in any other group at this point.
All right. Okay. So we're good with our 4.
So she's with chapter 6. Yeah, we haven't duplicated anybody. I think.
All right.
From what I could see, I'll check it back afterwards just to be on the safe side. But I mean, guys should know if they assigned themselves already. So like Gera, Ralph has to assign. I think who again? Hanson was assigned. Well, Kamraj is assigned. Yvette, Stacy. Jairaj, I don't think he's been assigned yet.
Saviso?
Yes.
Could you just scroll to? All right. Could you just, if you could hold it right there, please?
Yeah, no problem.
I just want to get a visual
of who's outstanding.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So you have Jairaj, you have Dwayne Warner. Still outstanding.
Now Dwayne is in presentation 9. Isn't that they're not here at the moment? These guys?
Yes, so I wasn't assigned to any group or anything. So the last chapter, I have no problem.
Right.
Well, there are some men got to be in it.
Who's speaking?
Jairaj, sir.
Jairaj.
So the last.
Jairaj, what's your surname?
Samson, sir.
Oh, okay. See. All right. So I can start you off there.
Yeah.
I don't think I've saw Ralph in anybody's group yet.
No, sir. I go into the rejects. Don't worry.
No, you.
Presentation.
We mean rejects. We are no reject team here.
So this is I'm not assigned in any group either, so I will go with that.
Who's that person?
Peter Edwards.
Peter Edwards. Yeah, okay. So, right, that's from the second grouping. Okay, Peter Edwards. These are not the rejects. Alright, so I think... Has Scotland been assigned? Yes, she has.
Yes, sir.
Jairam, Gera. Gonzalez is assigned.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Durga was assigned, Ali was assigned. All
I
right,
think
so
Jason Shields missing, sir.
Shields, yes. Didn't see him anywhere. All right, Jason Shields. All right, so we're gonna have to put Jason with in that last group, and that's it. That should be the last person, I think. Not seeing
Sir,
any.
I seen Ian Batiste.
Ian Batiste is not in this class,
Not in this class.
and not in the other class either. You remember not everybody is in. What happened to him anyway?
He did this program last semester.
He did this program already.
Yeah, I taught Ian in the last class because he had some transfer credits, so he had some space to be able to add some classes. So he was able to do it before you guys. So y'all could always talk to him and find out, how it went. All right. So I think we have everybody set up. Let me let's take a look at this. Let's make sure we don't have any duplications. So we have Sterling, Thomas, and Waldron for Chapter 4, Understanding Self. Gera, Ramlal, Jairam, and Ali for Chapter 5. Kandaru, Bihari, and Raghunath for Chapter 6. Scotland, Cordner, and Rose for Chapter 7. Sanka, Sukhdev, and Duncan, Vanessa for Chapter 6 of the Daft. Then we have Reed, Robinson, and Durga for Chapter 9, Being in Communities. Then we have Gonzalez, Hamilton, Duncan, Gerald, and Noel for Complex Organizations. That's Chapter 8. Archie, Arthurton, Duncan, and Alfonso. So Johan, Duncan, and Alfonso for Chapter 13, Strategic Vision and Direction. Ramcharan, Samuch, Hansen, and Warner for Power and Influence. And Samsudar, Gera, Raf, Edwards, and Shields for Leading Change. All right, and I think good. Okay, I'm not seeing any duplications, and I believe that is everybody. If my math is correct, 5 3 15 and 4 5s are 20, so that's 35, right? Only finish all your maths, right? All your pass math 116 already. I find there's some silence here. You all haven't done your 116 yet?
No.
So we
No,
now
we
do
started.
116.
So we
You're
now
now doing it?
started. We now started. Yeah.
Oh Lord, look, trouble here now. Trouble and worries. All right. So I think we should be okay here in terms of what we're doing. So I'll PDF this document. Let me see if there are any other changes that we want to do. And I'll load it into the e-classroom. Same thing with the recording. Now I will duplicate all of these things into both e-classrooms so that both groups can look at it. Remember, I said we're going to keep the administrative layout, but we will be kind of like working together in one grouping. Make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So what that exclamation was about Math 116?
Now I was trying to say you all needed to when I was talking about my math skills, I was trying to see if you guys could have verified my count. So I was saying chapters 1 to 5 is 3. So from my math, that is 5 3s are 15 plus 4 5s are 20. So that should be 35, right? And
Yeah, but sir, that had nothing to do with Math 116. You could have said 0091 092.
This
This
everything for me,
116 different, you know.
for everything for me is maths.
Yes, Abisu.
Yes, sir.
Just have the updated version of the schedule.
I'm going to update it now.
All right, so it should be there.
Well, I'm
So,
going to do it now. If you're looking at the screen, you'll see me
I see. All right,
going
all right, all right.
here, and I'm deleting the old one.
All right, all right, all right.
And I'm going to drag and drop and choose a file and bring it in there now. Right,
Sounds good.
which,
Thank you very much.
yeah. You see, yeah, we had to do things in a kind of style and fashion. Yeah, remember you got right. So this is uploaded now. So save and return. So now what you should see when you go down to the course schedule, you should see a PDF document there as opposed to a Word document from before. And I'll do the same thing. I'll do it now, just to be on the safe side. With the other class, which is this one here. All right. Let me do something first inside here. Just to keep records. Should be there now. All right, so go to the e-classroom and load that in, and that should be here. So foot, leg, hand. All right.
Can I ask a question while we're doing
Yes,
this?
you can ask questions all the time, yeah.
Right. Is it that we're going to do a PowerPoint presentation?
As part of your presentation for this chapter.
Is the PowerPoint as well as the oral presentation?
Yeah. You remember your PowerPoint is really a presentation aid.
Aid,
Right?
yes, of course, of course.
It's to assist with it. That's why part of the marks here is for the use of presentation. How you go about using it appropriately,
Yes.
designing it.
So do you want us to upload the PowerPoint presentation as well?
Yeah. After you've presented, not before, you'd see that in the submissions, this area here, submissions area, you'd see you have a place to upload the document for it.
Nice.
Right?
Okay, so thanks.
No problem. All right, and you'd have to upload it in your slot, your spot, I should say. So I would expect there will be multiple submissions of the same PowerPoint for each student because of the nature of how we have it set up. Okay. All right. Do you have any other questions you want to ask or information you want clarified? So next week, for example, I will be starting with looking at chapter 1 and the preface, which is on the schedule of activities that we're looking at now. Anybody has any questions they want to ask? Anything they want clarified?
Yes, sir. Ryan here. Just one quick thing. I noticed within the course outline it indicated, I don't know if it's still valid, that we are required to join our organization or something like that. I just want to find out if that is still a requirement.
You talking about the course, the original course outline?
Yeah, the outline of the course itself.
Yeah, the practicality of that didn't lend itself to, and you all are already members of organizations. That was generally designed for people who were students who are not working.
Okay, understood.
You're already working in organizations. The idea was that for students who were not working, in order to build some experience with working within organizations, that would have been something useful.
Understood. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm seeing 37 people in class. We have somebody extra here or somebody's here twice. Oh, Joel. Okay, Joel's here twice. No, there are two Joels. In the meantime, are there any other questions people want to ask or queries that they want? Anything clarified? Now, I know it might be a little much to ask you to do all that now, but I think next week's class, because it's after 2 already, if you have any questions you want to ask, you could bring it up then. For clarification, you can go through the documentation, have a look at the textbook. Oh, sorry, some of the chapters from those textbooks are available as YouTube audio tracks that you can listen to somebody reading it to you. For those of you who might be more auditory in your learning process or your learning preferences. All right. So if there are no questions at this point in time, I'd like to bid you all farewell for the evening and both groups. So we kind of save the 2 to 5 session from occurring. But that's our secret, okay? All right, let me turn off the recording as we're speaking about secrets.